that's okay, turn to a neighbor. Someone will be more than happy to help you. Page 120, as we light our candles.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'chag ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the lights of Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'rei peri hagafen.
Amen. And there was evening and there was morning, the sixth day. The heaven and the earth were finished in all their array. On the seventh day, God finished the work that God had been doing. And God ceased on the seventh day from all the work that God had done. And God blessed the seventh day and declared it holy, because on it God ceased from all the work of creation that God had done. On page 123, we join our voices together in chanting, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pari hagafen. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho v'ahavahu v'ratzon hinchilanu Zigaron lema'aseh v'reishit Ki hu yom techila lemigrahei kodesh Zecher letziat Mitzrayim Ki vanu v'acharta ve'tanu kidashta Mikol ha'amim V'shabbat kodshecha Ve'ahava uvratzon Hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen.
Shabbat Shalom. I'm, as Rabbi Ben said, I'm Katie Bowman. I'm come to you with greetings and love from New Orleans and from around this entire region of neighbors. Look out at our congregation here tonight and see old friends and new friends and community members and people who are strangers to me but who are beloved friends to each other. And it's a huge honor to be here with you and to be a part of this Shabbat of solidarity and celebrating of the vibrancy of the Jewish life that we have built in this part of the country. I'm so proud to be a product of it. And whatever contribution I and we can make, your neighbors from around this region, we're here for the long haul. So thank you for welcoming me and those who will be joining us tomorrow. I want to invite us all to just take a moment, as Rabbi Ben said, and let some of the tension of the week out of our bodies, our shoulders. It seems like every week we could say that was a really hard week. I think we could certainly say that one about this week. It's just since last Shabbat. And to marvel as we sing and pray into Kabbalat Shabbat, to marvel at the miracle that it is, as Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel writes on page 163 of our Siddur, that our power of intention can change some time into other time, that our lives don't run together in one big messy flow, but actually we decide through the kindling of these Shabbat lights that this time will be different. We will remember that we can be different. And so as we sing about that on this Shabbat Shirah, Shabbat of song, even if singing's not your normal mode, I invite you to do it because it changes the state of our bodies. It makes us breathe different. And and tap into feeling and not just thinking, and consider what it is we need to welcome in after a week like this, and after, for this congregation, especially after a month like this, what needs to come inside so that we return to ourselves and to each other.
On page 163. A thought has blown the marketplace away. There is a song on the wind and joy in the trees. Shabbat has arrived in the world, scattering a song in the silence of the night, and eternity utters a day, and eternity utters a day. Yay da da, yay da da, yay da da da, yay da da, yay da da da. Try it. Yay da da, yay da da. Yay da 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 da, yay da da, yay da da da. A thought has blown the marketplace away. There is a song on the wind and joy in the trees. Shabbat has arrived in the world, scattering a song in the silence of the night, and eternity utters a day, and eternity utters a day. On page 132, one of our Psalms from the Kabbalat Shabbat service. This is an excerpt, I believe it's the bottom of the page. It's from Psalm 97. Light is sown like seeds in a field. Light is sown for the righteous, and joy for the upright in heart. And it's built around a little nigun. You didn't know you were coming to choir rehearsal tonight, did you? Bum biddy bum, 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 bum. If you have a low voice, that's your part. Bum biddy bum, 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 bum biddy bum. If you have a high voice, this is your part. Namana, namana. Namana, nama, 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 namana. Come on, you sopranos, let's go. Namana, 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 nama, 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 namana. Here's the Hebrew. Oza ruach latzadik uyishrei lev simcha. Oza ruach latzadik uyishrei lev simcha. Over and over, let's go. Oza ruach latzadik uyishrei lev simcha. Namana, namana, you got it. Namana, nama, 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 namana. Keep that going. Let's add the bass part. Bum biddy bum, bum biddy bum, bum biddy bum. bum, bum biddy bum, bum biddy bum, bum biddy bum, bum biddy bum. Or Zarua all together. Or Zarua la tzadik, u'yishrei lev simcha. Or Zarua la tzadik, u'yishrei lev simcha. Namana, 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 nama, 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 namana. Bum biddy bum, 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 bum. On page 138 and 139, we welcome the Sabbath bride with L'chad Odi. And I'm new here, so I have a question to ask. When we go to verse 9, in our place here, do we rise and face the door and welcome the Sabbath bride as she walks in and brings Shabbat with us? I've seen many of you nodding your head. Yes, Dan, that's what we do. So that will happen at that time. 138 and 39. Ya la 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 L'chad Odi, ya la 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 likrat kala, ya la 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 b'nei Shabbat, b'nei Shabbat nikabela, ya la 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 L'chad Odi, ya la 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 likrat kala, ya la 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 b'nei Shabbat, b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Verse 1. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad hishmiyanu el hamyuchad Adonai echad u'shmo echad v'shemo tiferet v'litilah. Ya la 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 L'chad Odi, ya la 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 likrat kala, ya la 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 b'nei Shabbat, b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Verse 2. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nercha, ki mekor habracha merosh mikedem mesucha sof maaseh b'machshava techilah. Ya la 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 L'chad Odi, ya la 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 likrat kala, ya la 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 b'nei Shabbat, b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Verse 5. Itoreri, itoreri, kiva orech, kumi ori, uri uri, shir daberi, kevod Adonai alayich nigla. Ya la 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 L'chad Odi, ya la 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 likrat kala, la 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 lecha dodi. Ya la 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 likrat kala. Ya la 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 b'nei Shabbat. B'nei Shabbat nikabel. Ya la 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 lecha dodi. Ya la 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 likrat kala. Ya la 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 b'nei Shabbat. B'nei Shabbat nikabela.
You may be seated. I'd like to, if you'll permit, share a little tradition that is one of ours at Toro that I'm looking forward to participating with you in tonight. And it involves our children. So what I would like to ask is that if you are under the age of bar bat mitzvah, if you could come and sit on the stairs right over here, only good things will happen. Just come sit up here. As we know and as we've been singing about, you can follow our New Orleanian kiddos here. Shabbat is a time where we give each other blessings. It is, I feel blessed to be here, blessed by Dan's beautiful music. So many of the tunes that are the emotional core of the way we experience our Judaism, poured from his heart and soul, and we're singing them tonight, so we are feeling that. So grateful for the leadership of Rabbi Ben Russell through what for any rabbi is an incredibly difficult time, and for the incredible generosity of members of Beth Israel and Northminster and other communities who just have been opening doors and rolling carts and stacking books and shaking hands and working sound and AV. So much to be thankful for. So I'm going to offer during these words, during the words that we're about to sing, a blessing for our children, and also a blessing for each of you. So if you're with someone that you feel comfortable offering these words to by just giving a hug or placing a hand on the shoulder, you can do that. And if not, to just feel these words coming for you as well as we sing.
Yivarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha. Ye'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. Yisa Adonai panav elecha. Ve'yasem lecha shalom. Ve'yasem lecha shalom. Yivarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha. Ye'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. Yisa Adonai panav elecha. Ve'yasem lecha shalom. Ve'yasem lecha shalom. Yivarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha. Ye'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. Yisa Adonai panav elecha. Ve'yasem lecha shalom. Ve'yasem lecha shalom.
As we turn to the next section of our service, our hinge prayer, as we call it, our Chatzi Kaddish. I invite you to join in chanting ancient words together as a community, starting at the top of the page, 144. Yitkadal v'yitkada shemeh rabba Be'alma divarach erateh ve'amlich malchuteh B'chayechon uvyomechon Uv'chayerecho beit Yisrael Bagala, bagala, uvizman kariv, vimeru, amen. Yehi smech rabba mevarach, le'alam alal me'almaya, yitzbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitbar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar, v'yithale, v'yithalal, Shemer Kedusha, Berechu Leila Min Kol Birchata V'Shirata, Tusbechata V'Nechemata, Damiram Be'alma, Limeru, Amen. I invite you to turn the page as I turn it over to Dan for Shema U'Virchotecha.
Please rise however you're able. Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed Ya la 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 Ya la 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 Ya la 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 la.
Night is something that we very often find fear, but night is something that is part of creation. It's part of the world around us. Torah even says that God wraps God's self in darkness sometimes, and so in this season where we're still waiting for light to appear, for the sun to be out longer throughout the day, we remember that the darkness is a part of the creation. And so together, at the bottom of page 149, I invite you to join all of our voices together as we read, "This is an hour of change. Within it, we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or shall we cross over?" Aravim. As you taught Torah to those whose names we bear, teach us Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet we struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for all of us, but did you mean the struggle for us too? Don't let us struggle alone. Help us to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead us into the mystery. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. As we turn the page, we find the watchwords of our faith, words that even after the fire, words that could be found in our Mishkan Tefillah on top of everything else all of the destruction, this page 152 and 153 could still be seen. And so I invite you to join in chanting this prayer, the prayer of our people, Shema Yisrael. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. You may be seated. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Rabbi Ed Feinstein teaches that it was actually easy for the Jews to get out of Egypt. What he teaches is that it was actually hard for the Egypt to get out of the Jews. And if that's true in any way, especially on this Shabbat, Shabbat Shirah, the Song of the Sea, there are some questions that could be asked. Questions like, what are you still a slave to? And what would it take to set you free? How would that make you feel? We're on 158, our song of freedom, Mi Chamocha. Mi Chamocha bo'elim Adonai, Mi Kamocha nedar b'kodesh, Mi Chamocha bo'elim Adonai, Mi Kamocha nedar b'kodesh. Nora tehilot oseh משה ומרים, זה אליינו ואמרו, זה אליינו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. יאללה לה, יאללה לה 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 לה, יאללה לה 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 לה, יאללה לה 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 לה. A different type of prayer, not in the prayer book. In fact, the author is unknown. Eternal One, help us to remember that the jerk who cut us off in traffic last night is a single mother who worked 9 hours that day and was rushing home to cook dinner, help with the homework, do the laundry, spend a few precious moments with her children. Help us to remember that the pierced, tattooed, disinterested young man who can't make change correctly is a worried 19-year-old college student balancing his apprehension over his final exams with his fear of not getting his student loans for next semester. Remind us that the scary-looking bum begging for money in the same spot every day, who really ought to get a job, is a slave to addictions that we can only imagine in our worst nightmares. Help us to remember that the old couple walking annoyingly slow through the store aisles, blocking our shopping progress, are savoring this moment, knowing that based on the biopsy report they got back last week, this will be the last year they go shopping together. Eternal One, remind us each day that of all the gifts you give us, the greatest gift is love. And it's not enough to share that love with those we hold dear. Open our hearts, not just to those who are close to us, but to all humanity. Let us be slow to judgment, quick to forgiveness, and patience, and empathy, and love. We're all together on page 160. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'Shalom V'hamidenu Shomreinu L'chaim. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'Shalom V'hamidenu Shomreinu L'chaim. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'Shalom V'hamidenu Shomreinu L'chaim.
Perhaps the most important tool in our spiritual toolbox is the idea of teshuvah, that we've never gone so far down a road that there is no returning, there is no turning, there is no getting better, there is no getting stronger, there is no making amends, there is no rebuilding. That time never comes, so says our tradition. And I think that is embodied in even just the very idea of Shabbat each and every week, as we return to it each and every week, no matter what has happened, to say, we are not worthless, we are worthy, we are mighty, we are beautiful, we are strong, we are compassionate. And even if all of those amazing traits didn't pour out of us this week or this hour or this month or this year, we have a chance to reset. So that's why we so love and adore this day. It reminds us that return and renewal is always possible. So we're on page 162, Vishamru, we will keep Shabbat in every generation. It is a sign of our holiness and the fact that we are beloved to God.
Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת.
Our central prayers to Tefillah begin on page 164. We rise physically, spiritually, stand upon who we are, what we believe, what we're grateful for, what we pledge to do better, and we sing together beginning on 164 and following. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, v'Konei HaKol, v'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, u'Mevi Geula Livnei v'Nehem, L'man Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham v'Ezrat Sarah. 168. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol, Atah Rav le'Hoshia, Mashiv HaRuach u'Morid HaGashem, Mechalkel Chayim b'Chesed, Mechaye HaKol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim v'rofech go'olim, u'matir asurim, u'mekayem emunato li shenei afar. Yeshua, v'ne'eman ata l'chayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh ha'akol. Page 170. Ata kadosh, b'shimcha kadosh, ukdoshim b'chol yom yehalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el ha'kadosh. We continue through the Amidah individually. Over the next few pages, you're welcome to be seated or remain standing as to your custom, and we'll reunite after a few moments of individual prayer on page 180.
יהיו לרצון עם רפי וגיון ליבי לפניך אדוני צורי וגואלי אדוני צורי וגואלי May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, O God, my rock and my redeemer. Yiyu, liratzon, liratzon, im refi vegion, libi lefanecha. Adonai, Tzuri, Vegoali, Adonai, Tzuri, Vegoali.
It is an honor to just share a word about Rabbi Jacobs before he offers tonight's Devar Torah. And I suspect that many of you know who he is, what he does as the president of the Union for Reform Judaism. But I just share that he is a rabbi's rabbi, and it is an honor to witness the rabbinate that he has built as he leads our movements in so many ways. And rabbis are often asked to be, prophets and pastors, priests, prophets, and pastors. And I think your last week maybe embodies that, as he spoke for our entire American Jewry at the World Economic Forum in Davos, and now is here caring for an important Union for Reform Judaism congregation in Jackson, Mississippi. And I suspect that both are equally important to him. So really appreciate your presence here, Rick, and the Torah that you'll share and the Torah that you live. Thank you for being with us down here tonight.
Shabbat Shalom. So we have actually a pretty big Union for Reform Judaism. We got about 800 plus congregations in the United States and Canada. Some are huge, some are small, some are fairly new, and some been around for hundreds of years. And you ask me, which is the most special? Well, the most special tonight is Beth Israel. Because there's something so unbelievably powerful and inspiring about this congregation. You were actually part of our union almost from the beginning. We were founded in 1873. It was just a couple of years later that Beth Israel became a founding congregation in our Reform movement. But it's not just the size of a congregation, it's the character. And sometimes that character is shaped by history and by moments. And I believe Beth Israel has been shaped by many moments that led to this moment. And I feel your strength and your spirit, and I can tell you that I bring the love of our entire movement and beyond our movement, people of the Jewish communities across the globe, but also people who don't share Judaism but share a love of holiness, a love of goodness. Jewish people, we've been marching a long time. Kind of goes back to the series of Torah portions we read this season, every year, the Torah portions of Exodus, about marching forth from a place of oppression to a place of hope and possibility. Well, in the civil rights movement, and many of us have been marching in the civil rights movement, there's one of these sayings we say over and over again: forward together, not one step back. Can we just try that? Because I think actually we could say that together. Forward together, not one step back. Because it's easy to go forward, maybe a person here, a person there. But we're not going a few, we're going together. Forward together, not one step back. Can I remind us that our ancestors were nomads? They actually didn't have buildings. They didn't have structures. They had a call. And they made their way through the desert, finding their way, following the light. And wherever they were, they made that their spiritual home. Well, sometimes in this world we get a little caught up that it's about the buildings and the structures, but it's always, always about that inner core that makes us who we are. Can I just say, Northminster Baptist Church, I gotta believe the Holy One is smiling right at this moment. The Holy One is saying, a lot of times people don't get it right. There's so much acrimony, so much rivalry, and then every so often God's got to say, look at Northminster Baptist Church tonight. Look what's happening. God's family is come together with love and with an embrace. That's not every day, but it is today. And it also fills the heart with hope. If I could just say, we are living through an epidemic of hate. The Jewish community knows this as anti-Semitism. It comes from all different places, and it's deadly, it's painful, but we will not actually fold because of it. We'll actually stand up even taller. and stronger, more committed to what we do matters. And the way that we do it with God's family matters greatly. Can I also say that we think about some of the ways that a moment chooses a leader. We have in the book of Esther, it says, when Esther is maybe thinking, I don't want to be the leader of the entire people at one of the most dramatic moments, and the text tells us, Im le'et kazot higat lemalchut. Maybe for such a moment as this, you became a leader. Rabbi Ben, for such a moment as this, you became a leader. Zach Shemper, for such a moment as this, you became a leader. And all of the leaders in our midst, all that strength, all that commitment, all that feeling like we've got something incredibly powerful to build, and we will. Can I say that you know the history of this congregation, but it's worth remembering a couple of key things. In 1874, the wood frame synagogue burned to the ground. That actually is not the story. The story is it burned to the ground and then it was rebuilt. And the people were even more determined that that was not going to be an end point, but a moment of distilling what it is that we were about. When we think about the moment where they moved in to a new congregation, a new building, and of course they had to have services at a different church back in the day, and that was Galloway Methodist Church. There's a tradition that when something happens that shakes this community to the core, there's more love that comes together. There are more people that open their hearts and their arms and their buildings so that we actually can find our way. The deep ties between this synagogue and the churches in this community is a story that should be sung from the rooftops. Let all hear what this has been. You know, of course, in 1967, there was an attack not only on the synagogue building by the Ku Klux Klan, but on the rabbi in his home, Rabbi Nussbaum. And one of the things that we have to also remember is that we're called as the Jewish community to not just be busy and not just to fill our time, but we're supposed to be out there. The book of Deuteronomy says, Tzedek, Tzedek Tirdof. We're supposed to build a just and loving world. And when people come at us with the opposite of a just and loving world, we push back, because that's part of our calling. Rabbi Nussbaum was a leader who stood up and said, this is about justice, creating a society where no matter what your background was, you're all God's children. We have that marrow that helps us stand tall, stand strong, and stand together. Did you know that this Sunday night is a Jewish holiday? I'm going to be the first one. If you didn't know, I'm going to break the news. This Sunday night is a Jewish holiday. Not the most famous of Jewish holidays, but it's a great one nonetheless. It turns out it is the New Year of the Trees. And I didn't know that we would be praying in a sanctuary where trees were going to be all through our worship space. But look at that. Tu B'Shvat, this middle of the Hebrew month of Shvat, in the middle of a cold, brutally cold winter, we think about trees and sprouts and new seeds. Now, I'm from a place on the West Coast called California. Have you heard of California? Say California. No, you've heard of it. I know you have. But the thing about California, and this is a Tu B'Shvat teaching, and with this I'm going to conclude. There's some trees in California that are really tall. The sequoia can be 200 to 300 feet tall. They can be 25 feet in diameter. And they're quite beautiful to look at. But the thing that we don't necessarily know by looking at giant sequoias is that they actually grow very close together. And they can stand really tall, but they actually have very shallow roots. So how do they stand tall for literally millennia? And the answer is that underneath the soil, their roots grow together. They're matted. That's what allows them to grow tall. That's what allows them to endure. Can I just suggest that I think, Beth Israel, you're like a giant sequoia. And Northminster Baptist Church, the roots have grown together in such a profound and strong way that there's a steadiness and there's a height that is incredible. Turns out there's one more thing about sequoia trees. Permit me to tell you. I didn't know it, but that's why we can learn. Turns out sequoia trees endure fire. And where they are most likely to grow tends to be in the Sierra Nevada mountains, very prone to lightning and to fires. And it turns out that after these fires, they have a special bark. They tend to grow back stronger and taller. So can I just make a prediction? Beth Israel, I know you're small and mighty. You may be small and mighty, but getting bigger, taller, stronger. A beacon of light and hope in a world that sometimes is consumed by a lot of darkness and a lot of things that make us very, very nervous about the future of our world. Earlier this month, we celebrated Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who taught, the ultimate measure of a person is not where they stand in moments of comfort and convenience, but where they stand at times of challenge and controversy. This is one of those moments. And at this moment of Tu B'Shvat, of the New Year of Trees, can I say, let us plant more seeds of goodness, of justice, of courage, and of hope. We call this week, we've heard this spectacular music, and if I embarrass you, I'm sorry. Dan Nichols, this is Shabbat Shirah, but it's also a Sabbath of replenishing the soul. It's a Sabbath, we tell the story of the crossing of the Red Sea when our ancestors marched, and they didn't know that they would get through that sea, but they marched together. In fact, they went forward together, not one step back. And so too for us. Can I conclude by saying that after October 7th, when the brutal attack happened in southern Israel, and so many of our people were slaughtered, taken hostage, what happened was a lot of Jewish people found in their communities that the people we thought were our allies, some of them actually kind of disappeared on us. But can I tell you, when people say we don't have allies, I say, go tell that to my friends in Jackson, Mississippi. I dare you to say that in Jackson, Mississippi, we don't have allies. We don't have siblings. We don't have people who are ready to stand with us and to stand strong. And we have so many amazing rabbis. I know you said I'm the rabbi's rabbi, Rabbi Bowman, but you would know you are that very same rabbi. And thank you not only for coming, but for bringing sweetness. Never helps to have a blessing with a little sweetness thrown in there. So we got a moment to savor the seeds of hope that are planted. I was earlier today in the synagogue building. It's harsh to even imagine, but in the midst of that hate and that aggression is more love and more hope. Can I ask you, if you're not a member of Beth Israel, we want to take a moment to bless you. Can I ask you, if you're a member of Northminster Church or maybe another church or maybe no church whatsoever, can I ask you to stand up? We just need to see you and admire you and thank you and bless you. Yeah, a couple more people. Yeah, you can stand up. It's only going to be good. No one's going to call on you to recite the book of Leviticus word for word. So just stay up, please. And I just ask the Holy One, the goodness that courses through this community is the stuff that the future is built on. It's the very marrow of what the beloved community can and should be. So we thank you. We thank you for your care, for your love, for your support. And we thank you as our siblings for helping us reach this day and helping us see the light that will drive us forward. Forward together, not one step back. Shabbat shalom.
During this time in our service, we stop and we remember all of the people in our hearts, in our community, who are ill. On our list that we normally circulate each week, the names we have gathered are Alicia Lewis Ashford, Sandy Berman, Jeanette Briggs, Lauren Rosenbaum Brown, Eric Heron, Bill Howell, Jerry Jacobs, Sydney Mack, Donna Orkin, Jerry Prince, Joyce Solomon, Betty Shornick, Sally Shornick, Gilbert Solik, Carol Joyce Sparkman, Hunter Sparkman, Alyssa Rubinsky Stein, and Catherine Weiner. And if there are any names that you might be remembering or any names I may have mispronounced, I invite you to share those with us as I indicate to you.
This Shabbat is a Shabbat that celebrates resilience and strength and continuity. And it's also a Shabbat that acknowledges that after trauma, amidst loss, personal, collective, shattered sense of safety, there is such a need for healing and acknowledgement that we have cracks, we are broken, and we don't have to be all the way okay, not after what has been taken. So as we sing Misha Berach tonight, for all those who are ill, those who suffer aloud, or those who suffer silently, those who are suffering because of the state of the world or the state of our own bodies or people we love, we're going to bring the Torah around for a hakafah. And as it passes, you're welcome to reach out and touch it with your siddur or even with your fingers, and to say a silent prayer for the healing that you need, for yourself or for others. And as it comes around the room, you can also lift up your prayers for those who are not close to you, but that you know need this moment. So invite you to please rise for this as the Torah is brought forth into the congregation, and we'll sing together as it comes around the sanctuary.
May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen.
It's on the inside back cover of your Siddur, page 371.
Shebeirach imoteinu mikor habracha la'avoteinu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Shebeirach imoteinu mikor habracha la'avoteinu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Shebeirach avoteinu mikor habracha leimoteinu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say,
On page 586, we find our closing prayers, Aleinu l'Shabeach. And while some of us have already sat, but that's okay, I invite you to go ahead and stand right on back up. As we join together in chanting, we'll go kind of quickly through these prayers. I'll announce the pages as we go through those. Aleinu l'shabeach l'Adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמזבחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומסחרים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא בית שבט, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובה מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד. 591 ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. You may be seated. When I die, give what's left of me away to children and to old men that wait to die. And if you need to cry, cry for your sister walking the street beside you. And when you need me, put your arms around anyone and give them what you need to give to me. I want to leave you something better than words and better than sounds. Look for me in the people I've known or loved. And if you cannot give me away, at least let me live in your eyes and not just in your mind. You can love me best by letting hands touch hands and by letting go of children who need to be free. Love doesn't die, people do. So when all that's left of me is love, give me away. This evening, our thoughts are with Tamar Sharp's family, and the loss of her mother, with all those who are observing yard sites for Abram Abramovich, Florine Abrams, Benjamin Berendt, Myrtle Bius, Imogene Kronk, Lydia Erickson, Gertrude Garshman, Charles Goldstein, Abby Hesdorfer, Jeffrey Korlitz, David Queller, Bruno Marcus, Ava Marmel, Faya Milstein, Thelma Mitchell, Miriam Moran, Joan Mykoff, Abram Hyman Orlansky, Nathan Ostrov, Joseph Rosen, Edith Sherman, Alfred Sternberg, and Joshua Vitanzo. If you are still sitting Shiva, the first, or in Shloshim, or the first year of mourning, I invite you to rise and to let us know who you are remembering or anyone you may be remembering as I indicate. Any other names? On page 598, we find Kaddish Yatom, our mourner's Kaddish. If it is your tradition, I invite you to rise as we join our voices together in defiance of death, in praise of God. Yit Gadal v'yit Gadash Shemeh Rabbah, ve'alma divrach Heroteh v'amlich malchuteh, v'chayechon uv'yomechon, uv'chayedecho Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru, Amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevarach le'olam l'almei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shmei d'kedusha v'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tush b'chata v'nechemata. Damiram be'alma v'imru, Amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all of Israel, and to all of the world, to which we say, Amen. You may be seated. Just a few holy announcements to be given. I'll invite up our president, Zach Schemper, to give those announcements.
On 598, where we just were, at the bottom of the page, a prayer for peace. May the one who causes peace to be up in the high heavens cause peace to come down on us, all Israel, all the world, all of God's children. And we say together, Amen. Oseh shalom b'mroma, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, invited, עושה שלום במרומה. הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ואמרו
Kids, come forward. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Yalla la 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 la, yalla la la la, yalla la 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 la, yalla la 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 la, yalla la 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 la, yalla la la la, yalla la 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 la, yalla la 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 la. עושה שלום במרומה, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ואמרו אמן. יאללה לה 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 לה, יאללה לה לה לה, יאללה לה 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 לה, יאללה לה 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 לה, יאללה לה 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 לה, יאללה לה לה לה, יאללה לה 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 לה, יאללה לה 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 לה. עושה שלום במרומה, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ואמרו אמן. יאללה לה 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 לה, יאללה לה לה לה, יאללה לה 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 לה, יאללה לה 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 לה, יאללה לה 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 לה, יאללה לה לה לה, יאללה לה 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 לה, יאללה לה 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 לה, יאללה לה 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 לה, יאללה לה לה לה, יאללה לה 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 לה, יאללה לה 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 לה, יאללה לה 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 לה, יאללה לה לה לה, יאללה לה 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 לה, יאללה לה 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 לה. עושה שלום במרומה, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו